I know that the title of the video sounds like a complete and total exaggeration, but for me it isn't one. Why? Because I truly never ever in a million years expected that Liko, or Roy and Dot for that matter, would catch a legendary Pokemon. Like seriously, it didn't even occur to me that this was a possibility. I never even considered it. So of course, when I saw Terapagos lean in closer to Liko, I figured that it was just that sad, that it desperately needed more comfort. And who can blame it? It got to reunite with someone that it cares so much about, only to be separated yet again, perhaps forever. It's a heart-wrenching moment. Heck, even I almost teared up. What a powerful moment this is. Supremely emotional and touching, and further testament to the genius of the writing in this series. We did not know Rystal for very long, but they made us care enough about her and her bond with Terapagos in what little time we had with them that this farewell ended up still hitting very hard. Harder than it has any right to. Especially since Rystal thanks Liko and company for allowing her to see Terapagos one last time, and for being part of the future Lucius protected. This only makes the emotional gut punch that much stronger. Absolutely brilliant storytelling. However, I thought this was the extent of it. Liko would embrace Terapagos while promising that everything will be okay, that it's not alone, that they will reach Lac-1 together, etc. before moving on to discuss everything they learned from Rystal. But of course, this is not how things ended. Instead, Freed gives Liko a Pokeball, revealing that what Terapagos actually wants is to become her partner, her Pokemon officially. It wants to be captured by her. In this moment, not only did I get chills, the kind you get when something mind-blowing happens, something you cannot believe or even comprehend, but also my jaw hit the floor and my eyes popped out to the point that I looked like a cross between Exploud and Armaldo. I was flabbergasted, utterly shocked. Like, is this real life? Is this actually happening? A main character in the Pokemon anime, a protagonist that is not Go because let's face it, he was and still is an anomaly, was finally allowed to catch a legendary Pokemon? Impossible. I absolutely must be dreaming. But of course, I'm not. At least I'm pretty sure I'm not. Liko did in 75 episodes what Ash never got to do in 1200 plus episodes and dozens of movies. This just blows my mind no matter how many times I think about it. After denying Ash this prestigious milestone for well over 2 decades, which is almost if not the entire lifespan of some fans, Liko accomplishes it in under 2 years. She broke the curse. Now yes, the fact that Ash never captured a legendary Pokemon is a claim that I've had to debate to this day, since many people claim that this is false, citing Melmetal, Naganadel, and Solgaleo as proof. My response has always been the same. Melmetal is a mythical Pokemon, not a legendary Pokemon. Though yes, granted, these two categories used to be one and the same years ago, before the term mythical Pokemon was introduced and the distinction was made. But once this happened, they stopped being the same and Melmetal was introduced after this. Naganadel is an Ultra Beast, not a legendary. Are they similar? Absolutely, but not the same. Solgaleo is the biggest point of contention. For years I argued that while it did bond with Ash, extremely so to the point that they were basically trainer and Pokemon partners, Ash never actually captured it. That's a fact. He didn't. So it never was officially his Pokemon. The biggest proof of this is that Solgaleo was able to come and go at will. Ash did not have to release it like he did for say Greninja, Goodra, and Butterfree. Heck, even the Sun and Moon series itself provides evidence to back up the fact that Ash never captured the Solgaleo. Remember Poipo? It was basically in the same situation as Solgaleo. It bonded deeply with Ash without being caught, which is why it was able to stay behind in its home, seemingly parting ways with Ash forever without needing to be released. Like Solgaleo, it was a free Pokemon. It could come and go as it pleased, which it did. It came back, evolved, to join Ash for the Alola League. So just like Solgaleo, it left Ash and then it reunited with him before leaving again. There is one difference, however. For Naganadel, Ash actually took out a Pokeball and he captured it. So they officially became trainer and the Pokemon. And thus for Naganadel to leave, Ash had to formally release it. It's baffling to this day that they were so hell-bent on denying Ash a legendary Pokemon that they literally had Naganadel and Solgaleo go through basically the exact same thing, minus the details and the circumstances, of course. Except that one was captured and the other wasn't. A small deviation, sure, but one that makes a massive difference. So yeah, for years I swore up and down that Ash never caught a legendary Pokemon. I still do, and I am not alone here. However, my belief was shaken when Journeys decided to throw us a curveball by including Solgaleo as well as Larvitar alongside all the other Pokemon Ash did officially catch in the vision Pikachu had during Ash's climactic final battle with Leon, suggesting that apparently Solgaleo and Larvitar are both counted as Pokemon Ash owned, propelling us into a gray area where we question what owning a Pokemon even means. How is ownership of a Pokemon determined? If just befriending a Pokemon means it's yours, then what do we even need Pokeballs for? For convenience? To make it official? This is an entirely different can of Caterpie that would make for an entirely separate video all on its own. The point is that I still firmly believe that Ash did not catch Solgaleo and thus he never got to catch a legendary Pokemon, period. Which is why Liko catching Terapagos made me feel conflicted. On the one hand, I was happy because I love Liko, so seeing her triumph and achieve amazing things brings me great joy. Plus, I think that she deserved and earned the right to catch Terapagos. Unlike Go, who was gifted two legendary Pokemon, greatly decreasing their value and prestige in my opinion, for doing not nearly enough to earn such an honor, Liko spent basically all 75 episodes, if we want to count the episodes where Terapagos was just a pendant, interacting with, helping, bonding with, learning about, etc., the legendary Pokemon that she would end up catching. She was with it through highs and lows, happy times and sad times. They endured and pushed through dangerous situations together, and they also laughed and smiled during joyful occasions. She learned as much as she could about Terapagos. She promised to help it achieve its dreams. Heck, she made its dream her dream. They basically were great friends already who spent so much time together. They were basically already partners. Trainer and Pokemon. They just had to make it official, which thankfully they did. Because even with everything I just outlined, I still fully expected her not to catch it because the writers would find some way to deny her what is rightfully hers like they did with Ash. Heck, I'm still afraid that they will make her release Terapagos at or near the end of the series. Do I just have trust issues with this anime? Maybe. The cherry on top is that Rystal, who is Liko's great-great-grandmother, was Terapagos' original trainer. Her daughter Layla inherited Terapagos, then Layla's daughter Diana inherited it, which ultimately led to Liko inheriting Terapagos. Meaning it's like a family heirloom, passed down from one generation to the next. so Liko has every right to catch it. The fact that they waited until she met Rystal to allow her to catch Terapagos is just brilliant, because they officially became partners after they realized just how much they were meant to be together and why. Fate led them to each other. They were destined to be partners from the start. The fact that Liko chose to call Terapagos Pagogo, which is something I absolutely love by the way, just like Rystal did, beautifully cements the indelible link they have to each other and the amazing history that not only brought them together, but also allowed them to connect and bond as much as they did, culminating in this ultimate and monumental sign of said bond and connection. Better yet, Rystal herself entrusted Pagogo to Liko, asking her to take care of it and stating that they are already partners. At least she sees them as such. So to say that Liko deserved and earned the right to catch Terapagos is a massive understatement. This paired with the fact that, like I said earlier, I do love Liko, meaning I'm always delighted to see her succeed and shine, is ultimately why I have zero issues with her catching Terapagos. In fact, I love that she did. Really, I truly do. I cannot tell you how happy I was when I saw it happen. I couldn't stop smiling. Once I got over the shock of seeing it happen, that is. Easily one of the best moments in Horizons thus far. I honestly cannot express just how much I love this and how much I approve of it. However, like I said, this is only one side of how I feel. While I felt extremely happy, I also felt extremely sad. Hence why I said that I was left feeling conflicted. This sorrow stems from being reminded of Ash and how he never got to do what Liko just did. I simply feel bad for him. It's like his legacy was just blatantly disrespected by allowing his successor to achieve something he never got to do. And so fast, relatively speaking, considering how many episodes Ash was the protagonist for, and so easy too, because yes, while they obviously did a lot to get to this point, the capture was ultimately difficulty-free. Not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying Liko should have battled Terapagos. I'm just stating a fact. Now, I felt even worse for Ash when I realized that if he never returns to the anime, then this stain on his legacy will remain forever. He will always be the protagonist that never caught a legendary Pokemon despite having so much time and so many chances. Like, picture it from the perspective of retiring from a job or a sport or a hobby or life itself, knowing that you never accomplished one specific thing you always wanted to achieve, or you never got one specific achievement or milestone, and you never will. It's a level of regret that feels almost insurmountable, one that weighs on you heavily and that will always haunt you. When I think about it this way, I cannot help but feel awful for Ash. Now yes, it might sound like I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm taking this way too seriously. But I just cannot help it. I've been watching the Pokemon anime since it began, so I was there for the 26 years that Ash was around. He's basically a childhood hero or icon for me, which is why this matter means so much to me and why I am so passionate about discussing it. Again though, while I do have my misgivings about Liko catching Terapagos, I still do love that it happened. I'm extremely grateful that it did, and I truly could not be happier about it. It's not only a wonderful moment that speaks to the incredible potential that this series has, which is continuously being tapped into to great effect, but it's also a monumental occurrence that greatly elevates not just this episode and this series, but it also raises the stakes tremendously for the future in very meaningful ways. Because if Liko can catch a legendary Pokemon, what's stopping her from catching more or other special kinds of Pokemon? And what's stopping Roy and Dot from doing the same? Now I'm sure you're eager to check out my reviews of the previous episodes as well, so go ahead and click on the links on screen. Also, if you enjoy what I do and want to help me keep creating content like this, please consider supporting me directly through one of the links in the description below. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.